Throughout history, warriors have shaped our world through courage, strength, and sacrifice. But among these legendary fighters stands a remarkable group whose stories have often been overlooked. The warrior women who defied expectations and changed the course of history. Women who stood their ground. Women who led armies. Women who changed history. These are their stories, from the past to the present. The strongest warrior women in history and today. Picture France in the 15th century, where a teenage girl named Joan of Arc leads armies into battle, her banner held high as she inspires thousands with divine visions and unwavering courage. France was losing its war, until a 17-year-old girl claimed she was sent by God. Joan of Arc led the French army to victory, outmaneuvering seasoned generals. She was fearless, a warrior and a martyr. But the world was not ready for a woman to lead. Across the Channel and centuries earlier, Queen Boudica's fiery red hair streams behind her chariot as she rallies her Celtic warriors against the mighty Roman Empire. When the Romans brutalized her daughters, Boudica vowed vengeance. She united Britain's tribes, raising an army of over 100,000. Her warriors burned Roman settlements to ash. Rome had never seen such destruction. In feudal Japan, Tomoe Gozen rides into battle wearing magnificent armor, her sword flashing in the sun as she becomes one of the most celebrated samurai warriors of her time. A warrior unlike any other, Tomoe Gozen was a master of the blade, one of the few female samurai who fought alongside men. She beheaded her enemies on the battlefield and led her lord's army to victory. The samurai code was strict, but she proved that strength had no gender. Artemisia I of Caria, the warrior queen of the Persian Empire. Born in the 5th century BC, she became one of the most feared naval commanders in history. At the legendary Battle of Salamis, 480 BC, she led the Persian navy against the Greeks. While others hesitated, she ruthlessly rammed enemy warships, outmaneuvering even the greatest admirals of her time. Her skills were so legendary that even King Xerxes of Persia declared, "My men have become women, and my women have become men." Over 3,000 years ago in ancient China, one woman shattered all expectations. Her name was Fu Hao, warrior, queen, and supreme commander of the Shang dynasty's military. Born in the 13th century BC, Fu Hao led massive armies into battle, wielding bronze weapons and war chariots against rival states. Her forces crushed enemies with precision and brutal efficiency. Her legacy was nearly lost to time, until archaeologists uncovered her tomb filled with over 100 weapons, armor, and battle relics, a testament to her status as one of China's greatest military leaders. The streets of ancient China tell whispers of Hua Mulan, who disguised herself as a man to take her father's place in battle. For 12 years, she fought as a man in China's army. No one knew her secret until she returned home a legend. While Mongolia celebrates Princess Kutulun, who would only marry a man who could defeat her in wrestling and remained undefeated her entire life, Kutulun was no ordinary princess. She was undefeated in wrestling, challenging any man who wished to marry her. If they lost, they forfeited their horses. She amassed hundreds of horses and never lost a single match. Nzinga of Ndongo and Matamba, a queen who didn't just fight, she outwitted empires. Nzinga turned enemies into allies and waged a war against Portuguese colonizers for over 30 years. Her brilliance lay in her ability to outmaneuver superior forces and forge alliances with neighboring tribes. She stood as a symbol of resistance and hope for her people. With her unparalleled cunning, Nzinga forged a path to unity, turning the tides of war through strategic brilliance and diplomatic finesse. Nzinga's legacy is one of defiance and triumph, a testament to her unyielding spirit and indomitable will. Her story forever etched in the annals of history. Trained from childhood, unstoppable in combat, the Dahomey Amazons were Africa's deadliest elite fighters. But these warriors aren't confined to ancient history. During World War II, Lyudmila Pavlichenko became one of history's deadliest snipers, with 309 confirmed kills defending her homeland. While others doubted a woman's place in war, she answered with bullets. Against the forces of ISIS, a new generation of warrior women has emerged, the Peshmerga fighters. They do not fight for power, they fight for survival. Trained in guerrilla warfare, sniping, and urban combat, they have struck fear into one of the world's most brutal terrorist organizations. Today, women do not just support wars, they fight in them. In Ukraine, female soldiers stand side by side with men, defending their homeland. From combat medics to drone operators, from special forces to artillery units, they are rewriting the rules of war. In Pakistan, a different kind of warrior emerged when Malala Yousafzai stood up to the Taliban, fighting not with weapons but with words, an unwavering determination for girls' education. She was shot in the head for wanting an education. She survived and became a warrior. Her battlefield was not marked by swords and shields but by books and classrooms. The legacy of these warrior women continues in modern military forces worldwide. Women like Lori Pistoia, who gave her life serving in the U.S. military, and Colonel Ghada al-Shafi, who led women during Libya's revolution, carry forward the torch lit by their ancient predecessors. From the legendary Dahomey Amazons of Benin to today's female combat pilots and special forces operators, these warriors prove that courage knows no gender. Their stories remind us that strength comes in many forms, and that the will to fight for what's right transcends time, culture, and circumstance. These women warriors, spanning continents and centuries, share a common thread. They dared to challenge expectations, fight for their beliefs, and change the world. Their legacy lives on in every woman who stands up, speaks out, and fights for what she believes in, whether with sword and shield or pen and voice.